Hi guys, this is Night Fear, and I am coming on to do my TBR for Sci-Fi September. This is going to be during the whole month of September, and it's usually I do whoever I see first, but these are two of my favorite booktubers, so I'm gonna mention both of them, and I'm gonna link both of their announcement videos down below. And two of the hosts are Books Are My Social Life. And also Kathy Trithardt. If you guys have watched my channel, you know if I participate in a lot of the readathons that she hosts, because she hosts some really good ones. So yeah, so that's all. There is a bingo board, and usually I do it a lot neater, but I just kind of did the bingo board, so I'll kind of color or dot or put stickers on or something on there. I just didn't feel up to like being all neat and I don't know, just going with the flow today. Alright, so there are 16 challenges, and I have books for every one because I'm just extra like that. So I want to go ahead and tell you what I want to read, and hopefully I'll be getting all these read because I'm really excited about this readathon because I really enjoy sci-fi. Alright, so the first one is to read a book that's unpopular or unheard of. Now this one I'm going to do Empress of a Thousand Skies by Rhoda Belleza. And I'll just read the back of it. It says, Crown Princess Rihanna, Tyann, better known as Rhi, is the sole survivor of an ancient bloodline. She is seen as something delicate, a thing to be preserved and protected until she comes of age to rule as empress. But Rhi has other plans. So, and I always like these, like, princesses, either that they want to become a princess, they don't. I don't know. I've really liked those, and this one's bonus because it's sci-fi, so, yeah, and I don't really know if I've heard anybody talk about this one. I think I've seen maybe one or two people haul it, but I don't know if I've really seen anybody comment on it, so I'm hoping it's going to be good. So the next one is a classic or an older book. This probably kind of falls under both, but this is I Am Legend by Richard Matheson. I did have this on a TBR before. I really don't remember if I've read it or not, but I don't think I have. I think I started it, and then I had to send it back to the library. But I'm not just quite sure. But anyway, I've seen the movie several times, but I know the movie and the book are very different. But this is about a virus or a plague, I think, that wipes out most of humanity, and this scientist is left alone, and this book is about what happens with him after that plague happens. Okay, so the next one is Nonspace. And this is Oryx and Crake, a Margaret Atwood novel. And I have no idea what this one's about. Let's see. About the future. Now in Oryx Crate, the future has changed. Let's see. As the story opens, the narrator, who calls himself Snowman, is sleeping in a tree wearing a dirty old bed sheet, mourning the loss of his beautiful and beloved Oryx and his best friend Crake, and slowly starving to death in a world in which science-based corporations have recently taken mankind on an uncontrolled genetic engineering ride. And I think that's all I'll read. So it's kind of probably sounds like a little bit of a dystopian with genetic engineering. So that sounds pretty good. The next one is time travel. I am not the biggest fan of time travel books very much. I have wanted to read this, but I'm going to read this in a little different version, and then later on, when there's less pressure, I want to buy this book again and actually read the book, like the actual book. But this is Kindred by Olivia E. Butler, and it's done by the graphic novel adaptation is done by Damian Duffy and John Jennings. So this is a story about a black woman. I can't remember how she goes back in time, but somehow she goes back in time because it's a modern day woman, and she goes back in time, and she's suddenly a slave, and she doesn't understand. And then she keeps getting sent back to this particular man, from what I understand. But yeah, so I'm going to read the graphic novel because, yeah, and obviously time travel. Then the next one is Fantasy Elements. And this one I'm going to read some short stories. And the book is called Shards and Ashes. It's edited by Melissa Marr and Kelly Armstrong. And I guess they have stories in here as well as Veronica Roth, Camille Garcia, Margaret Stoll, and then there's some more. And these are just fantasy sci-fi short stories. And I thought it sounded really fun because they're actually dystopian stories. So, you know, sign me up. I'm good with that. So that's what I chose for this. And I've never even heard of this one either. So I'm kind of excited to see what that's all about, and hopefully it's good. Okay. So then the next one is Global South. And from what I understand, this is supposed to be like the story or the author is in like Africa, Asia, stuff like that. I'm not sure what that term necessarily means. So if I've misinterpreted, please let me know and I'll pick a different book. But I'm still going to read this one because this book, I found it and it sounds amazing. And somehow I missed it when it came out. But this is War Girls by Tochi Onyebuchi. And I own Beasts of Night by them. But yeah, this book is, it's basically, okay, so it's Black Panther, Nigeria, climate change, and, climate change and nuclear dystopian, where I think it's two sisters are trying to survive. I didn't want to read in too much because, you know, I kind of wanted to, and look at this cover. Isn't she gorgeous? And I mean, she's got some kind of, looks like cybernetic. So there must be some kind of cybernetic stuff going on. Maybe. I don't know. But I definitely want to read this. It's actually on hold right now on my library app on Libby. So I'm hoping, it says it's only a week. I should have to wait a week, so I should have no problem reading this. But yeah, I'm just so excited. But like I said, I'm thinking that this fits that prompt pretty well. But if it doesn't, let me know, please. Okay, so our next one is Robot or AI Presence. And for this one, I am going to read Speak by Louisa Hall, and this one has all to do with, it says a thoughtful, poignant novel that explores the creation of artificial intelligence, illuminating the very human need for communication, connection, and understanding. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So AI, I'm hoping. I've never read this or seen anybody that's read it, so I'm hoping that it fits. So I'm hoping. Then we have Contemporary with Sci-Fi Elements. I chose The Lost World by Michael Crichton. I read Jurassic Park. It's either the end of last year or the very beginning of this year. I liked the book except for the little girl. And if the little girl is in this one, I'm going to just... But anyway, yes. And I love the movies. I've watched the movies so many times. It's not even funny. So, yeah, I want to read this. And because this will finish the duology, I want to get that done. And this is about dinosaurs being brought back, if you don't know what Jurassic Park is about. And this is the second book. And I don't even know what this one... Okay, so it's 6 years after Jurassic Park. So, yeah. So we'll see what that one's about. I'm excited. Probably try to find the audiobook because that's how I listened to the first one. And I really liked it on audiobook. Alright, so the next one is Alien Presence. And for that one, I'm going to read Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Now, I read the second series, the spinoff series to this, not knowing it was a spinoff series, and loved it. I love those books, so I want to go back and read the beginning. And this is the, I guess Lux is the series name, but this is the first book in that series. And I just love Jennifer L. Armentrout. I don't know why, her writing, I've loved all the series I've read from her so far, so I'm hoping that I like this one, but this is alien invasion, aliens invading, so there's definitely aliens in that one. The next one is Queer or LGBTQIA plus, and for this one I'm going to be reading Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell, and this is about, I'm not sure if they're on two separate worlds or if it's on the same world, but it's basically two guys that are in an arranged marriage, and it's a political thing, but also there's a treaty involved with them getting married, so there's like a lot of pressure on these two young guys. I mean, I've seen good reviews for this one, and I've been wanting to read this one for a while, so I'm really excited, and this is one that I'm definitely going to have to read soon, because it's going to be due back to my library soon, so probably end up reading this one the very first week in September. So yeah, and isn't that one's a pretty cover too. I like how you can see yeah, it's very pretty. And since it seems like there's like two different planets, maybe, I don't know, like I said, I'm not sure about how many planets are involved, but it is a spacey one. All right, then we have non-human main character, and for that one I'm going to read Catalyst by Anne McCaffrey and Elizabeth Ann Scarborough. Now this is another spaceshipy book. Now these cats, I like, there's a series of hers called Acorna, and it's about a unicorn girl basically, and I've read three or four of those. I need to finish that series too, but these cats kind of make an appearance, but I read the first couple pages just to make sure that the voice of the cat is in there, and it is. So the cat is one of the perspectives in this book. So yeah, the cat, and it's a Barque, however you would pronounce that cat. So yeah, and they're basically space cats. They, or live on the spaceships and do certain things on the spaceships. So they have kind of like a job. So, and this is about this one cat, and she and her kittens get kidnapped, and then there's this virus, and that's one thing about Anne McCaffrey's writing and a lot of her stories. It isn't just one story. It's like there's several things going on kind of at once. So that's one thing I love about her. Her stories, at least all the ones I've read, is because you just don't get bored, because there's just this going on, and once this is going on, but then this is going on too, and so you're over here, but then you're over here too, so yeah, you just never get bored. So I'm excited, and I've never read those, so I'm excited to read that. Okay, then the next one is short story. And for that one, I'm going to read Emergency Skin by N.K. Jemisin. And this is a very short book. It's a little over 100 pages, if I remember. It's like 120, 130 pages, I think. But this is... people come back from the future, and they're trying to get something to save the Earth, because... the Earth is basically not there anymore, because there's a catastrophe or something like that. And then this person brings an AI with them. I don't know if it's like in them, like in their brain AI in them, or if they bring like an AI physically. There's two people that are, I don't know. I didn't want to read a lot, but I love N.K. Jemisin's writing. I've read, two of her series now. I've read the Broken Earth trilogy and the Thousand Kingdoms. I think those are the names of those two series. But yes, I've loved both of them, and I will actually want to, I'm trying to find them right now to buy, so I can reread them. Because I just love her writing. If you guys like sci-fi and haven't read any N.K. Jemisin, oh, please read them, especially the Broken Earth trilogy. It is so good. But anyway, so we're going to try this one and see what I think of her short stories. Okay. And then we have the next one is Water. Okay, now I kind of messed up on this one. Because I actually got this book from my library because I was going through trying to find stuff. And I didn't realize that this is actually the second, from what I understand, from what I can tell on Goodreads, this is the second book. So it's Ark by Stephen Baxter, but the first one is actually Flood. So basically we're looking at 40 years of the Earth, and Flood is what happens first. So I'm going to read this. I'm actually going to read both these books, even though this one is a chunky, but I don't know, this premise sounds so cool. So I'm not going to tell you what this one is about because, yeah, that's the second book. So from what I understand, this one is about, what happens 40 years, and the water just slowly just takes over the Earth, basically. And that's all, but I only know about that. And that's all I need to know because I like dystopian, destruction, people having to survive. Yep, up my alley. And then I guess this book follows what they do after the Earth, I guess, is completely flooded or almost completely flooded. So yeah, I can't wait. Okay, so then the next one is Popular or Hyped. This one is very popular. You'll go, yeah. And this is also a short one. This is All Systems Read by Martha Wells. This is the first one in the Murderbot Diaries, and this is about an AI who I guess is a murderbot. I don't know a lot about this one. I don't want to because this one's really short too. But I've heard it's funny. And this AI, I guess, is kind of learning how to be, like a person or whatever. And I don't know. I don't think I've heard anybody say bad things about this book. And I wanna read it too. I want to see what it's about. So yeah, I can't wait to read this one either. And especially since it's short. The next one is Steampunk. And I am going to read Etiquette and Espionage by Carragher. This is the finishing school series for her, the Parasol Protectorate. Now, I did read the first one. I think it is the first one in the Parasol Protectorate. And the author is Gail Carragher, if I didn't say that. Let me see if this says. It probably doesn't, because, that would be too easy for it to tell me. And of course it doesn't. I think it was I'm pretty sure it is the Parasol one that I okay, so we're traveling back to a time before the Parasol Protectorate. Okay, so this might be fun to read. I'm hoping I'm not going to spoil myself. Like I said, I've read the first book in that other series. I'm pretty sure that was the Parasol Protectorate. But for some reason, this one showed up, and I couldn't find the other ones. I know my library has them somewhere, but I don't know why I couldn't find them. I couldn't remember exactly what they were called. So I got this one instead. And this is very steampunky. So, yeah. So, and it's about the finishing school, and they are 14-year-old Sofrina is a great trial to her poor mother. That always starts out good, right? And she's more interested in dismantling clocks and climbing trees than in proper manners. And the family can only hope that company never sees her atrocious curtsy. So they're sending her to this school. But I guess it's not what her mom thought it was. The school's teaching fine arts of dance, dress, etiquette, but they're also learning to deal out death, diversion, and espionage. So yeah, I think this sounds fun. Yeah. Yeah, and the other book, it was hilarious. So I'm anxious, and it's nice and short. So, all right. So the last one is to read a book that was recommended to you. I went through a lot of sci-fi fantasy recs trying to find a book that sounded interesting to me and that my library had. So Steph Loves recommended this one in one of her videos, and this is This Splintered Silence by Kayla Olson. And this one, what was this one about? Of course, I didn't write it down. This one is about, hold on. Let me see what this one is about. Okay, it's distant future, aboard a space station, and then there's a virus that kills all the older crew members, and it leaves just the teen crew members. And so they, of course, have to, take over this space station, and I'm assuming probably figure out what's going on and stuff like that. So, sounds good. Dystopian on a space station. If you can't tell, I like any books that has anything to do with dystopia. That's kind of my thing. So, anyway, but these are the 16 books that I have chosen to read for this readathon. Some of them I'm excited to read all of them. I'm nervous about some of them, especially the Margaret Atwood, because I started to read, what's it called? Her other book. Her other book. The Handmaid's Tale. I started to read that one and couldn't get into it, so I'm hoping I can get into this one. Yeah, and so, yeah, I'm excited. And then several of these I own, so that's always nice to get, read some off my own TBR. Yeah, so let me know if you're going to participate in Sci-Fi September. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you think about them. If you're reading any of these books or would like to and want a buddy read, let me know. Please remember to always be kind to one another, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!